28 June 2019, the impactful and relevant film shedding light on the societal problems in India, Article 15 starring Ayushmann Khurrana, Sayani Gupta, Kumud Mishra and Manoj Pahwa released. Directed by Anubhav Sinha, who seems to be on a resurgence and finally found his true voice after Mulk. The trailer left the masses in absolute shock and intrigue as the movie focuses on the 2014 events that took place in the Katra village of Badaयूं district in Uttar Pradesh, where two Dalit women were found hung to death from a tree. The movie takes a look at the case at hand, the murky nature with which it is dealt, the regressive attitude of the people in power, and how justice is served in a country marred by corruption, red tape, and an inherent bias towards specific communities. While specifically taking a look at the case, the movie also sheds light on the pretentious secularism showcased by the masses in this day and age, an aspect completely the antithesis of what B.R. Ambedkar envisioned with Article 15. I will list down the key points about the film so that you guys can take the final decision of whether to go for it or not. The great aspects. The ensemble cast. The biggest strength of the film, besides its gripping and relevant premise, are the performances by the entire ensemble cast. There is not a single actor in the film that misses a beat. Each character's contribution to the case, which was blatantly straightforward but gets murky due to the bias and fearful nature of several factions of society, fits all the empty spaces in a puzzle. Kumud Mishra as Jatav, a police officer from the Dalit community, is calm, restrained and in many ways adaptable to the change that is taking place as new IPS officer Ayushmann Ranjan is taking charge. In moments you empathize with him as he breaks down trying to control the storm that is undoubtedly out of his control. Manoj Pahwa as Brahmadat is simply spectacular, playing a typical cop who is aware of the intricate details about the locality and the relationships several communities share. A man who is always cautious of change and consistently acts as a roadblock to the investigation. He is one of those characters who exists and thrives in the madness, and change for them is nothing but a nuisance. Sayani Gupta as Gaura, who provides information to the police and is fearless in pointing out the police's incompetence, puts forth a praiseworthy performance. Similarly, Mohammad Zishan Ayub, playing the role of Nishad, despite his brief performance, has the best lines of the movie and executes them extremely well. Ayushmann Khurrana, however, as IPS officer Ayushmann Ranjan, proves yet again that the man has a knack of picking out compelling scripts and performing in those unique stories in an extremely convincing fashion. The man is the voice of reason in a lawless land, and you can totally feel the frustration and angst within him, trying to do what should be done, constantly being reminded not to ruin the harmony which does not even exist. Ayushmann in several moments throughout the film proves to us that he is not an actor just for quirky roles. An intense and relevant story where he has to prove his acting chops as a dramatic actor is also a breeze for him. It seems to be only bigger and bigger strides for the actor in the future years to come. The caste system and problems. The movie in many ways with its message is effective and yet not preachy. What we would think in cities is not a problem anymore, as several communities live and coexist with each other. We seem to turn a blind eye towards sections of society in which segregation and conflict among communities is rampant. The film has a beautiful way of communicating the differences that we have placed on our own population, through humor but not making a mockery out of the situation. The outsider's perspective as Ayan presumably enters the Wild Wild West is not only real but provides us a reality check of how disconnected we are to the many issues that persist in rural areas, how villages are segregated, how a working society can come to a standstill if a specific community decides to protest, the body language and mannerisms when talking to a specific caste, to even something as inconsequential as the plate and glass you get served food and water in. The film provides us a clear picture of the problems we all know about but pretend as if don't exist. The process of justice in India. The film sheds light on the justice system and the various processes which should be independent from any kind of political body or influence from a section of society, but sadly the case is entirely different. How justice is provided to the people of influence and the have-nots are only provided the short end of the stick. The assumption by the police force to already judge a case according to the caste already tells you the bias people have and how justice is not really as blind as it turns out to be. The Dalit girls being found dead is already assumed to be an honor killing. The thought of violence and sexual assault by an upper caste individual is completely ruled out. In several instances, police officers say, "In logo ka to yahi chalte rehta hai." This is the treatment and attitude towards these sections of society. In the process of seeking for the truth, if a person in power is noble enough to do so, there are several roadblocks of threats and roughhousing, which only people of a specific mettle can deal with. Otherwise, most men and women concede and accept that we live in a world which is irreparable. Finally, pacing and surface level secularism. The movie is 2 hours and 11 minutes long, and its length is ideal for this engaging thriller. The movie does not take much to get to the actual case, and thankfully does not deviate in the process where the engagement of the audience is lost. The movie builds up the curiosity of the viewer every step of the way, trying to understand the culprits and why the system is the way it is. We can all pretend to be secular and blind to race, caste, sex, or religion, but the movie in a very effective way makes us introspect whether we have the same bias and are actually secular citizens, the way B.R. Ambedkar envisioned us to be. Definitely a movie that you should not miss this weekend. Anubhav Sinha and Ayushmann Khurrana are on a roll with engaging films. And that was the video, guys. Write it down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.